All right. Give it a couple of minutes here. Let's see. Hopefully I don't have a second stream going. It's showing up yet. Yeah, there you go. Hey, Grim, how you doing, buddy? Hey, there's not a second stream open, is there? Hopefully not. That happens. Happened to Clover once before. It had like multiple. Hey, Ghost. Okay. T8, how's it going? Okay, good. I'm glad the other one shut down. What's up, Mad Sexy? DTAM62, what's hanging? So when I don't know, well, Ghost, you do stuff on your phone too. 04 Hemi, what's up? Yeah, you got 2 notifications because this is the second stream. If you've never used a mobile to do a live stream, you probably don't know, but when you open it up, what's going on, 2 Live? What happens is Too Hottie, what's happening? What happens is you open up the stream, and then it asks you, you have to put your orientation which way, like straight up or down, or in landscape mode or whatever. And when I clicked it, my phone was like not quite right, so it wanted to have my screen up and down, which is really weird because then it's just really super awkward. I didn't like it, so I shut it down. And once you pick one, it doesn't let you change it, and it's really weird. So let's give it a couple of minutes here. Let's see if anybody else shows up. Potatoes and Lead, what's hanging? What's going on, buddy? Good to see you. I don't really have a topic tonight either, so if anybody's got anything, let me know. Gizzard, what's going on, dude? Nate 2099, how you doing, man? Alan is pro. He's not a pro at YouTube, that's for damn sure. He can't get his name straight. So if you guys have any topics or is anything you want to talk about, you know, which is always, you know. There's RL, what's going on, buddy? Yeah, I had to shut it down and reopen it up. I had the orientation on my phone wrong, so it was looking kind of goofy. Bacon lollipops. Sexy, Mad Sexy says bacon lollipop. What's up, Patriot? Gary says, I certainly hope we don't get more Allens in here. Yeah, there's never enough ammo, but always too many Allens, I guess. Allen is pro. Mad Sexy says, bro, you got to try them bacon lollipops. How is it? What is a bacon lollipop? Need that Allen wrench, that's right. Allen might have a wrench in here, I'm not sure. Allen is a pro sexy man of the night, that's what it is. Yeah, 12 going so far, that's pretty good. For a lonely old late night Sunday chat, right? So I think I've seen them. They have like, is it like an actual lollipop, like a candy, and then it has like flecks of bacon in it? I think I've seen them before. I saw one once. It was a, oh God, what was it? Bacon and popcorn flavored or something like that. That sounded pretty cool. That sounded pretty neat. That's the kind of thing like when you go to the beach or something on the boardwalk and they have all sorts of. They have like candy stores and stuff with all sorts of weird stuff. You guys will have to bacon in the oven or bacon in a pan or bacon on the grill. As long as it goes in your mouth, that's what counts. Bacon in your mouth. I guess it depends on what you're doing with it, because I mean, in the restaurant, we usually do quite a bit at a time. So, AC, how you doing, buddy? AC says it's funny how you went hi bye on the last one. Yeah, I had my orientation wrong on my phone, so instead of being in landscape mode, it locked it onto like up and down, and I can't use that on my little tripod here. It won't hold on to it. So, which actually it might be easier to do it that way because I think I could see more text, more of your guys' chat that way, but I would have to, I don't know, I'd have to rig it up a little bit. I'm trying to look at my tripod now. I could maybe do it, but I think I'd have to boost it up a little bit. So, but so yeah, I shut it down and opened up a second one real quick with the correct orientation because it won't let you change it once it's locked in. It's really weird. So bacon. Everybody wants to talk about bacon. Pork belly, cured pork belly. So, because as a restaurant, I mean, most restaurants are doing such a large amount at a time. They do them in the oven. It depends on how you like your bacon, I guess. Just like anything else. Duct tape that shit. Yeah, that's actually what shut it down. That's actually what I was thinking about. You know, I might have to just get something and duct tape it. So there's a couple of different ways to look at it if you want to do bacon. If you're the kind of person that likes your bacon like, you know, kind of dry, not in a bad way, but you know what I mean. Not sitting in its own fat or whatever. It's really nice to do it in the oven in like a perforated pan. That works really good. Or to do it ahead of time. I'm just getting over cold, guys. I'm sorry. You're gonna have to bear with me. I got my Ghost Tactical voice working tonight a little bit. It's that sexy radio voice. WKRP. So one of the things that's nice in a restaurant is if you do bacon and then you want it to dry out a little bit, we cook it and then we'll actually put it on a little bit of paper towel and fire it back in the oven for just like a minute or two, and it draws the fat out of it. And that's really nice. That's a good way to reheat it. You just got to be careful because you're putting paper towels in the oven and you don't forget about it and catch your whole house on fire or whatever. But so perforated pans work really good to keep it crispy. If you're doing breakfast, do it in a pan and then cook your eggs or whatever in the pan. You know, you got all that nummy bacon flavor. Or if you're doing like a bacon gravy, like a sausage gravy, like a white sauce, like a white gravy with bacon, you know, chop it up and do it in a pan, render it down. Oh, I have my little tiny water today too. Little tiny waters. 04 Hemi had venison steaks. Awesome. Scott Pacini, what's happening, buddy? 13 in here so far. It's good. Tactical water. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's nice and little. You can shove it in your pocket if you have to. So what did venison. Who was it? Hemi had venison steaks. What kind of steaks were they? Do you cut them yourself, or do you get like a butcher do them or something? Nate says perf pans and drip pans is how I do it. I do a couple pounds at a time and eat bacon sandwiches and English muffins through the week. BLTs, man. I love a BLT. I was never, like as a kid, I was never like a huge raw veggie kid. You know, like I like cooked veggies, but I was never like, didn't eat a whole lot of raw veggies. Now I'm an older man. BLTs, holy shit. That's awesome. Hemi cuts them himself. D-Temp 62, I had chicken leg quarters with orange honey glaze. That sounds great. Honey, orange, and ginger is killer together. Ginger is great with honey and orange. Fuck that rabbit food. Bacon and Miracle Whip on toast, man. Man. Yeah, T8. We were working at the restaurant. We were working with last couple summers. We've been working with this farm, and it's not organic. They practice they do organic practices, but they're not certified. But they're still, you know, they don't use any chemicals or anything like that, or pesticides. Everything's natural, and we've been getting these tomatoes from them during the summer that are just ridiculous. They're crazy. It's a BHN. I don't remember what it stands for, but they call it, it's a BHN tomato, and it's a red, you know, medium-sized tomato, nothing huge, but the inside is not very seedy, and they're just really mild and sweet. They're awesome. I like Miracle Whip, man. I like Miracle Whip. We had this talk the other day. Somebody was talking about this. I don't remember whose chat was it. Travis P11's maybe? He was doing that venison chat. Game chat. Scott Kent, Steakhouse Italian for marinade on chicken. Yeah. I like Kraft has that zesty Italian. We used to do that. We used to use that for our chicken for golf outings when I worked at the when I worked at a country club. Alan is pro says I got 16 pounds. 16 wait. I've got 16 pounds of pork belly for next weekend's barbecue slow cooking for 10 hours. Do you have a recipe for a thick but sweet brine? You talking brine? Like you want to brine it ahead of time? My turkey brine would work great. If you watch that turkey video, that's a pretty user-friendly thing. You could use that on pork for sure. Actually, I have used it on pork. I used it on pork 2 weeks ago at the restaurant. We got in a rack of pork, a pork loin rack with the bone in it, and I cut them down and brined them, and it was awesome. Yeah, I was waiting for somebody else to tell me this. Gary says, I took leftovers home from my daughter's Thanksgiving meal last night, tried gravy and today, and it was great. All I had to do was mention that to Travis P11. He jumped on that son of a bitch, man. What's up? What's up, Jumpy? How you doing, guys? How you doing, guy? DTM's looking for a pistol with a European mag release. Oh no. I only really even heard about that fairly recently. I was watching one of the Forgotten Weapons. Ian had something on with a European mag release. I don't remember what it was. It was a month or two ago. And I don't know I don't know if there's modern pistols that are built, depending on where you get them, if they still do that or not. I don't know. I'm not really the guy to ask for that one, that's for sure. Kind of a jack of all trades when it comes to guns. I know a little bit about a lot of stuff. I'm not awesome in any one thing. RL says the wife said we're going on a diet after the holidays. I said you better have a damn rat in your pocket. Yeah, I had the first time I ever heard that phrase. It was a restaurant manager, banquet manager of mine, and when you work in caterings and parties a lot, there's always a lot of stuff to lug around. You're doing tables and chairs, you know, you're setting stuff up like crazy, and it's always you know, you always hear people saying, hey, let's go down, like let's, or hey, we're gonna go down and do this, or let's do this and let's do that. And whenever somebody would say, hey, we need to go down and bring something up, you'd always say, what, do you got a mouse in your pocket? I'm busy. It's funny. Yeah, D-Time says the paddle near the trigger. Yep. Yeah, I know what they are. I just don't have a whole lot of experience with them. So I don't know if, like I said, if there's modern guns that might be built both ways depending on where they're going to be sold. That might. It's actually kind of neat. It's different looking. It's just, you know. Scott says Makarovs. Damn, that Tranime girl is such a refined lady. Jump in, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. T8 says his uncle ate gravy on pie. Well, you can eat gravy. Oh, I will not talk shit about anybody that puts gravy on damn near anything. Scott says, I get points for watching Gun Jesus' videos. Yeah. Yeah, Ian's a cool dude, man. He knows his stuff. Wait, now I just scrolled up a little bit farther and Scott said, I hate gravy. So we're going to sit quietly from here on in until Scott apologizes or he leaves the chat. Scott, I'm waiting for an apology. You said you hate gravy. That's not very nice. Scott Puccini was banned by AC97 and he brought him back. Thank you. That's why. See, that's what mods are for. To do my dirty work. That's funny. Good job, AC. Good for you, buddy. That's funny. That made me laugh. Jumpy says, is there an oil that has a high smoke point that is not peanut oil? Off the top of my head, I don't really know the smoke points of oils. I feel like I'm not really sure. Yeah, Sean said, and that's actually what I was thinking about, Sean, was animal fats. Animal fats, like even like chicken, you know, like chicken fat. If you would have, like if you make like chicken stock or something, that fat that floats to the surface is great to cook with. It's actually called schmaltz, I think. Schmaltz. When my grandpa used to say, when they were, my grandpa was in Demolition Ranch, yeah. Depression kid. He was born in 20. And I'd heard this also in history class when I was a kid, when they talked about the Depression. They didn't have butter, so they would actually use that and cook with a lot, or spread it, you know, on to make like a toasted grilled cheese sandwich, or to cook with, or just to spread on bread and eat it. Mobile One, yeah, Mobile One will work too. Man, my throat is a mess. Potatoes and lead large sandwich. Kinda. But hey, that was a time in our country where nobody had anything, you know. Alan is pro says, can't go wrong eating bacon, drinking gravy, shooting beer cans. That is a good Sunday right there, buddy. Scott, you said his grandfather used to keep a can of bacon fat under the counter in a cabinet, an old coffee can. They use it to cook with. That's cool. And that's, you know, that's a generation of waste not, want not, right? I mean, as a general rule. I feel like I missed something up here. RL says the Curve might be the biggest POS Taurus ever released. I think it's a neat idea. I understand it. I don't have any experience with it. Bacon fat makes good gravy. It sure does, man. The Curve, I don't know much about the Curve. I've never even looked up like reviews, or I've never been super Super interested in it. Scott says the biggest POS they introduced is that $1,200 AR. Yeah, talk about shooting yourself in the foot, right? I can't imagine many of those got sold. That would be super interesting to see the sales of that Taurus AR, because the bottom was Nate 20's Taurus made an AR. Yeah, they came out with an AR this summer. Springfield came out with the Saint, which was very well received. Unfortunately, it's from Springfield. I actually just saw an ad the other day for it for like in the 600s, I think. It's a nice rifle for 600. But Taurus came out with this AR and started promoting it, and then word got out how much they were charging for it. MSRP was like $1,200. It's crazy. When really, really good rifles were starting to come down into the 7s and 8s at that point, probably. They were asking for over $1,000. It's crazy. Yeah, Mad Sexy saving up for a 357 Red Hawk. Red Hawk. Cool. I need a wheel gun. I don't have one. Well, I shouldn't say that. We have a 38. My wife has a 38. It's on loan to us though. It's not technically, it's not mine. Nate's asking if anybody has ever felt an innovative gunfighter solutions Glock trigger. That's a mouthful. AC says, is that some sort of washer in the background? Say, a clothes washer? Yes, it is. Yes, it was. It's done now. I don't have a whole lot of time. I got to multitask, man. Talk to you guys and do some laundry. Patriot says, my daughter said my bacon grease scrambled eggs are a lot better than her mom's all oiled scrambled eggs. Yeah, we use clarified butter at the restaurant. For sure. And at one time, I was using a mixture of oil and clarified butter. And it just wasn't... I don't know, man. It just wasn't as good. Obviously. Hemi says, he don't buy guns with shitty triggers. Hashtag CZ Master Race. Nate is saying the trigger he's referring to is big compared to others. It looks like a flat face Steyr trigger, kind of. There's a lot of flat face triggers out there. The one that Yankee uses is he puts the Apex in, I think it's called. He likes those. I don't know what it's compared to those, if it looks the same. I've never shot a flat face trigger. I actually would like to. One of the things I've been looking at a lot lately is the Smith & Wesson Shields, and I was actually just looking at a drop-in trigger for those that was flat-faced, and it was red. It looked kind of cool. It was like red anodized aluminum. It looked really neat with the black. Brownells has a good sale on shields right now. I just saw it was a shield for $370, and then they gave you a $100 Brownells gift card with it, so it's $270 really. I mean, you could always spend $100 at Brownells. That doesn't take a whole lot, especially if you're buying a new pistol. Buy a holster or something. RL don't shoot Glock for shit. I've never. Well, I've shot Glock. Yeah, I don't. The grip angle is goofy to me. I don't like the idea of going back and forth between that and another gun. The grip angle is kind of weird. But the that shield, though, by the way, I mean, if anybody's interested in it, it's great. It's a great pistol. I know a lot of guys that have them. Nate is saying Brownells has the PC Shield 9mm for $400 and $100. No, they have it for $370. Actually, that's the one I'm talking about. It's the ported high visibility sight 9mm, $370. Jumpy praised the 10mm. I'll allow it. I've never shot a 10mm. I would like to. I think that's kind of I don't know why I even bother saying that. Like, I've never shot that, but I want to. Of course I do. We want to shoot everything, right? Scott says the P10 is everything a Glock should be. It has an awesome trigger, but I really can't tell the difference between that and the PPQ, and it's got great ergonomics. Nate says he needs to get his eyes checked. Well, it could have been updated too. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, who knows? Or it could have been a mistake. I mean, I saw it on my app, my deals.net, deals.gun, deal.net. Yeah, I've shot 357 for sure. RL really wants a tactical orange too, but pricey. The hell do you mean tactical orange? Like an actual orange? Mm-mm-mm. 40 Magnum. Yeah, 10mm. 10mm is hotter than 40, of course it is. Little tiny water. Scott says he's finger banging a lot of them at the gun store. Gizzard says 380 Master Race. 380 will get it done when you need to get what you need to get done, I'm sure, if something ever happens. You can keep it on target really quick. That's nice. You rattle off a bunch of rounds. Nothing's in my budget, RL. Said a local gun shop had one, but it wasn't in the budget. I know the feeling. AC and your 9mm. $10mm greater than 9mm Luger. Yeah. Gizzard says depends. If you shoot 380 better, then maybe that's what you should have. Yeah, I don't think there's anything. I mean, the caliber sort of snobbery, I guess, maybe. Caliber's less important than having it when you need it. For sure. Man, my cough is just getting worse and worse as we go. RL, scrape together some scratch. Scrape together some scratch for the show next weekend. I'm betting you can get a hell of a deal on a wheel gun. Wheel gun's like number 3 on the list, I think. That's the trouble. I would really like to get. I really like the look of the GP100s. I think for the money, they're great. They really good reviews. Aesthetically, I think they're nice looking. I think they're a good looking piece. And I think didn't they just come out with a 7-shot? Like a 7-shot. That's a lot of firepower, man. Jumpy says, is it okay to put your pointer finger on the spine of a knife when cutting stuff? No, don't do that. You lose a lot of the control in your wrist. You want to ride up on the handle a little bit. And I personally actually keep this part of my finger up against the hilt. Not that everybody needs to do that, obviously, but when you're riding your finger on the top, you really get a lot more wrist action. Like it's hard to lock your wrist up, and you lose a lot of control. Your knife tends to get a little floppy side to side, so I wouldn't do that. It's a bad habit. That's why I actually have, I don't know if you can see it, a callus there, a nasty little callus. There you can see it. That's from my chef's knife all these years. Yeah, if you break yourself of that habit, you'll find that you have a lot more knife control. Scott loves the Security 6 Ruger. That's cool. I just RL has a 3-inch GP100. That was his first CCW. That's cool. That's kind of what I'd like to do. Probably a 3-inch. I don't know. It would be nice to have a 3-inch in case I want to carry it. That's for sure. Power spring. Alan is pro says, what's my favorite way to make eggs with gravy? I love cream dried beef. Love it. And I've gotten my family hooked on it. We haven't done it for quite a while. We used to do the other year we used to try and do a holidays, and some people would come over super early, and I'd make them breakfast, and then they would relax, and I would do like Thanksgiving dinner or whatever. But I love cream dried beef. Big fan. Yep, chip beef on toast, same thing. SOS cream dried beef. Yep. I got to do that because I've got a really, really good simple recipe for that, and I should do a little video on that. Mainly because I kind of want to eat it. That's it. SOS. I like it on biscuits. You like a buttermilk biscuit. Toast is good too, though. Nothing wrong with that. English muffins, all right. I actually would. I said the other day I was going to do a chicken fried steak or something video too. That would be a good one to do. Chicken fried steak and just, like a bacon. Bacon white gravy or something. The biggest thing is finding a dried beef that's not salty. And sometimes you buy it stuff. Generally, you the stuff you find at the store tends to be pretty salty. If you can get the low sodium stuff, it's not bad. But I used to get it. When I get it from a local, it's kind of like a farmer's market. Chicken fried steak, yes, please. Chicken fried steak the size of a Hyundai hubcap is always a good choice, yeah. Theirs was great, and it wasn't too dry. It was, it was nice and tender. And you actually have to season it at the end. Sorry, I'm reading some of the text. Chicken fried pork loin sandwich. That actually, who's that? Sean? Um, we do a pork tonkatsu at the restaurant. And tonkatsu is a breaded pork. Basically, it's like a pork scallopini. It's breaded in panko breadcrumbs. Night Strike always talks about it when I beat my, the chat that I was beating my meat. I forget who was having a chat the one night. I don't think it was in the lobby. I think it was, I don't know who it was. Could have been after hours. And I was pounding pork. Flattening out pork scallopinis. And I just had my camera on. They thought it was funny. Gizzard said he was with a guy who ordered a chicken fried steak sandwich once. And the sandwich came out. There was this little bun with a chicken fried steak hanging out 3 or 4 inches off the bun. Sounds like the pork tenderloin we used to have when I lived in Missouri, D-Temp says. Yeah, pork tenderloin works great too. Obviously, it's really super tender, but pork loin is so inexpensive. You can get pork loin for a couple bucks a pound. It goes a long way. When you flour, egg, and breadcrumb it, like with the panko breadcrumbs, it gets nice and crispy and crunchy and fluffy on the outside. It's a nice light breading. You can really do like 4 ounces per person. 2-ounce like scallopinis pounded thin is actually enough. We do it with a risotto, but I mean, it'd be killer over like a mashed or something like that too. It'd be really good. Jumpy said, how can you make liver a good eats and pleasant to people's taste buds? That's not something I've dealt with a whole lot. And the whole liver and onions thing is not my style. And we've talked about this before. I don't know if it was on my show or it could have been Travis P11's, as we've had some food chats there too. Is doing it in like a gravy. You know, like a beef, if it's beef or something, do it in like a beef gravy. Oh, Gary's got a good recipe for liver, so pay attention here. Heat it very carefully. He doesn't say how, but however you do it, just be very careful. Put it on a plate, take the plate, hold it over the trash can, and gently turn it over. Goodbye, liver. Nate 2099, have you ever had beef heart? Yeah, I've had a lot of stuff. Because I grew up hunting, and then when you know, culinary school, you do work with some of that stuff a little bit, and that's where I've done the gravies. And it's kind of nice if you sear it. Like usually you'll flour it and sear it like chunks, and then you know, caramelized onions or maybe mushrooms or something like that, and then like a nice beef stock, and let it sort of simmer down and thicken up. That's a good way to do it. But beef heart, yeah, that's how I would do beef heart. I would do something like that with it, and tongue's actually pretty cool. If in Latin cultures you see it a lot with tacos, actually it's called lingua, and you'll see it like slow roasted, and then they'll slice it really thin, and it's a muscle, you know. It's nothing too crazy. And Hemi says, from his experience, the TriStar CZ clones run pretty damn well. Yeah, they're nice looking too. I've seen them. I feel like when I bought my AK, the guy was a fan of those. He had a couple of them on the counter, not on the counter, but in the case. TriStars. T8 says, I had liver once when he was a kid. He liked it, but never had it as an adult. Yeah, I would. It's tough. Texturally, flavor wise, it's really strong. It's a filter organ, so and so you get a lot of like, it's really irony and rich and kind of dark. Texturally, it can be a little, I don't, it's hard to describe it. And I guess different livers of different animals are probably going to be, different. But it's kind of spongy, but firm and dry all at the same time. It's kind of grainy. So you definitely, that's what I would do with it. That's actually not a bad idea. That would actually make a pretty cool video, was to use something like that. Just like mad scientist, a little bit experimentation. Gary says nasty. The word you're looking for is nasty. What was that? RL says he's got a T120 that runs excellent. I'm thinking of Cajunizing it and making it single action only. Cajunizing it? What do you mean? Like Cajun? Was that Cajun Gunworks? You're talking about the company? Is that what that means? Patriot says, okay, so much for food. I got to get some sleep. See you, buddy. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, Hemi says soak the liver every night. That's a good idea. I would soak it in fresh water. I've seen the milk thing too. Soak it in milk. I would actually try that. I think that one might kind of give it a neat texture too. If that milk soaks in a little bit. Gizzard says, the joke that ends, not even God can hit a 1-iron. Well, not even Midnight Range can make the liver that I would eat. We'll see. I'll hit up the grocery store one of these days next time I go, and I'll see if I can grab a slab. It's good catfish bait, if nothing else. Oh, and yeah, Gizzard, that joke is the guy's going golfing and thunderstorm pops up as he's playing. He leaves his bag behind, takes a 1-iron, and walks out on the course and starts playing. Everybody says, "What are you doing? Why are you're going to get struck by lightning?" He said, "Don't worry. Not even God could hit a 1-iron." I've never tried. I had a 2-iron when I played. 2-iron's rough. That's a rough shot, too. Not a whole lot of room for error, man. There you go. How to make liver taste good. Fish with it and eat the fish. True. True story. Ghost Tactical says golf is easy. Sure it is. I actually love golf. I haven't played in a long, long time. And I actually, when I picked it up, when I started playing and got serious about it, I actually moved ahead pretty quick. I would say a better than average golfer, for sure. Philo's here. What's going on, Philo? RL says Marines shouldn't try golf. My grandpa was a Marine. He was a big golfer. I think he shot par once, I think. I remember, I wish I had it. I have to ask my aunt if she has it. He had his scorecard from when he shot par. It was like par or 1 over. It might have been par, because I know it was a big deal to him. He kept the scorecard. And that was I remember seeing it old, man, from like, I don't know, it might have been the 60s. This old beat up scorecard, you know. That was a cool. I should ask her and see if she has that. That would be a cool thing to have. I put that in a little frame or something. Too Hottie golfs with a 12 gauge. Nothing wrong with that either. Ooh, boy, you should get one of those. Oh, man. Have you ever seen those golf ball launchers? Those are cool. You put that on the bottom of an AR instead of a grenade launcher. Be like that thing they put out. You can put a bayonet, you can put a chainsaw, you can put a grenade launcher and a golf ball launcher on your AR, and you're good to go. Scott says his oldest brother has an indoor driving computer set in his living room. Ironically, he's a doctor. Yeah, we had one when I was in high school. I started playing, and then our the instructor, our golf instructor, was one of our teachers too. He retired. He actually passed away like very, very soon after he retired too. It was very sad. He retired, and then he was ill. I think he had cancer, but I don't think they really knew it was as bad as it was or something. I'm not really sure, because he was fine. Like literally my sophomore year, he was golfing with us and walking the golf course, and then we found out he wasn't coming back, and then like, you know, at the end of the year he wasn't going to be teaching it the next year, and then over the summer he just passed away. It was crazy. But our instructor after that was part owner of a driving range, miniature golf. They had like race cars, you know, little carts, go-karts, and they had an indoor setup. We used to play that. He used to let us play that whenever we wanted. That was pretty fun. The only thing is, once you learned how to cheat, it was kind of all over, you know. And we learned, like, my driver that I use is like what is it, a 9.5 degree or 8.5 degree? It's like real low. And we learned that if you use a real low angle, like a low degree driver or something, and you play it back in your stance and really drive it low into the bottom of the screen, you know, it's like a big tarp you hit into. If you hit it like at the very bottom, like 8 inches above, it'll give you like a 450-yard drive. So we were driving like par fours, like long par fours, par fives. It was funny. We hacked it. We hacked the game. Anything I missed? Anything I missed? Yeah, cancer sucks, man. Beautiful Love says she used to serve beers on a golf course in the summer, made tons of money. That sounds like a good idea. Maybe you should do that now. Scott says his brother just bought a limited edition ugly ass blue M4. I'm really on the fence about, I don't know. I guess my 9mm I would like to Cerakote at something fun. I was thinking about doing it and doing like a blue or a red, like red and black or something would be kind of neat. Kind of look like a Marvel superhero, you know. Are you telling your wife to go make some money? I'm just saying, if there's easy money to be had out there, we should get a hold of it. Jumpy says, do you know how to bring back some boiled chicken breast? What do you mean? Be a little more. You mean like it's already boiled and like it doesn't taste like anything, like it tastes like shit, like it's bland? Because that's kind of what happens. People will make chicken salad. Don't pimp her out like that. That's rude. Not pimping her out. I'm gonna get a timeout for that comment. Hey, if anybody, I would buy beer from her if I saw her out in a golf course. I probably wouldn't golf. I'd just follow her around and get wasted. That'd be a horrible day. I'd be throwing up by midnight or by noon. DF2 Dot says, better question, why is the chicken boiled? Free beer. Man, I played in a fundraiser golf tournament a couple of years ago, and I ended up getting hooked up with, I went by myself. I mean, I knew a lot of people. I knew other chefs. It was chefs, and it was for restaurant. It was for a restaurant, and they were doing a fundraiser for something. I don't remember what it was for. Share Our Strength or something like that. And so I knew one guy that I was going to be playing with. Yeah, that's why he has the name. He passed out on the driving range and woke up around midnight. I'll tell you what, when I got into golfing, I didn't really drink a whole lot when I was golfing. I was young, but I was really into golf, so I didn't want to screw my game up. But there was one time we went out. It was my grandpa, my uncle, me, and somebody else, maybe my cousin. And I just turned 21. I think I was home from right after I got out of college, culinary school. And we went out, and I got stupid ripped. And oh man, the dumb stuff you do when you're young. Like now I think about it, I'm like, oh God, of course I threw up all over the place. Like my grandpa had this old cabinet with liquor in it, old liquor cabinet. And booze doesn't go bad, right? So who cares if it's from the 70s or whatever. So I grabbed whatever. It was a bottle of Windsor, a half bottle of Windsor. And went to the country club, or went to the golf course. And we got like 2 holes in, and I realized like, oh shoot, we forgot to buy like Coke or whatever. I was drinking like Windsor and Coke. All I had was Gatorade. So I was jamming down Windsor and Gatorades for like 5-6 holes. Man, by the 9th hole, by the turn, I was just a mess. Oh God, I was horrible. I was just. We had a blast though. It was fun. My grandpa was, God, he was probably 70 at the time. Probably 70. Still out golfing, which is awesome. And I can't promote golf enough just for that reason. How many other sports can a 70-year-old and a 21-year-old play competitively, against each other? That's pretty awesome. He would have, honestly, I might even just quit at that point. I was sick as a dog. I should tell him about all the stuff that happened at the resort we worked at. Always naked people in the pond. There was one night. there was one night that was really bad. We worked at this resort. She worked up at the spa. I worked down in the restaurant, obviously. A couple of different restaurants. There was a grill. There was a fine dining. There was at the clubhouse, and then there was a banquet hall with a like a grill. You call it a grill, And down at the banquet halls where they did all the wedding receptions. We used to do big ones, man. 250, 300 people sometimes. I was very young. I was probably 23 at this point. I was a sous chef. And then eventually took over as the chef at like 24. It was crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Crazy times. 24 years old running restaurants. It's just insane. I would not let anybody 24 years old run my restaurant. That's for goddamn sure. But I pulled it off. So it's late. We're doing this wedding. And, you know, they're partying, they're drinking, they're having a blast. And we're cleaning up, and we hear, like, see all this stuff going on outside. Well, the groomsmen had got a hold of a couple of golf carts and driven 2 of them into the pond. And got them stuck. So that was one thing. And then we did have one bride get in an argument with the groom, and she threw her ring into the pond. It was like a $10,000 diamond ring. $30,000, whatever it was, I don't know. She got pissed at him, they got in a blowout, and she threw the goddamn ring in the pond. And from as far as I know, nobody ever got it. And then there was one that, yeah, $30,000 kaplop, apparently. And then there was one where the bride and I don't know who else, they got shit canned, wasted, and ended up swimming in the pond, jumping in the pond, and she lost a ring too. There might be, for all I know, there might be $50,000 worth of wedding rings in that goddamn pond. I don't know. It's closed now. The place is closed. Probably go up there and look for them. Drain the pond. Yeah. I don't know about that. There was the orgy in the pond. I'm not cool enough to be involved in anything like that. I don't want to I have enough trouble. I disappoint one person. Why would I want to disappoint multiple people at the same time? That's no good. Jeez. Busted. Not me. Fat guys don't do orgies. That's a general rule. A fat guy ism. That's one of the that's one of the 10 commandments of fat guys. Keep your clothes on. T8 says his younger brother plays disc golf, frisbee golf, but he doesn't see the allure. I've never played it. I've known people that have done it, and they really think it's fun. I think it's more just like an outdoors, being out there, hanging out with friends kind of thing, you know. Yeah. RL says $30,000 ring thrown away. I don't think I would ever hit a woman, but I would understand in that case. Jorge, George, what's up, buddy? Yeah, it's a stoner hippie thing around here. Yeah, it tends to be. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't say stoner, always stoner, but definitely hippie-ish. Got a lot of tight jeans, a lot of skinny jeans. Philo says there's an old bastard at the club that outshoots us all with his giant revolver. He's got to be 75. His hands shake. He's half blind, but he still wins every time. It's very upsetting to everyone. Grim90, what's going on, buddy? See you, D-Temp. Thanks for stopping in. Skinny jeans. Grim can wear skinny jeans because he's all bony. Sean Ponnery, what's going on? Tony York showed up at your range, Philo. That's it. Oh man, now we're talking about skinny jeans and Tony York. Oh boy, could you imagine? That's some funny shit right there. Sean, you got to bring that up in the early show tomorrow. Got to get Tony inside the waistband carrying his 44 and some skinny jeans, and somebody's got to get it on tape. Tape? What am I thinking? What is this? 1987? Jesus Christ! You need to get that on video. RL says he makes most jeans look like skinny jeans. I'm right with you, buddy. They're all skinny jeans, man. Tony and Bob. I love those guys. They're so funny. Jesus. Yeah, there's... Oh, man. Billy... What's his name? Billy Gardell, I think his name is, or something. He's a comedian. He's from Pittsburgh. And, he talks about how, you know, old school Pittsburgh guys, and he has a joke about you know, his grandkids coming in or something, and he's like, what the hell are you wearing those skinny jeans? You can't wear those in here. Yeah, get the hell out of here. It reminds me of Zoolander when he's in there. He's talking about the black lung. I got the black lung pop. Merman, I'm a merman. Blue Steel. Hipsters can like guns too, that's right. Ghost says, you mean tight rolls haven't been in the last 20 years? Damn, that explains a lot. Your wife took mercy on you. She's like, oh, look at this poor guy, doesn't even know how to dress himself. I guess I'll take him out. RL says, why do they put the fat guy jeans on the bottom rack? Make those skinny fuckers squat down. My knees don't take that shit anymore. I hear you, man. It's kind of neat. We live in a time right now where, I mean, other generations, I guess, too. But, like, you could wear some old banged up jeans, holes in them, all shredded up. You know, ripped frayed at the bottom, fringes. This is where you can have fringes, Night Strike. And you could have just had them for like 20 years and they're all banged up. And then there's another dude that'll go to the store and buy the same looking jeans for like $200. It's a win-win. You don't ever have to get rid of your jeans anymore. Never. Doesn't matter how many holes or banged up they are. That's awesome. I, on the other hand, wear nothing but work clothes, so it doesn't really matter. It's a little bit irrelevant. I should say now, too, now that we're like far, far, far too deep into the show for it to make sense, but I picked up another patron today. Or recently. Could have been yesterday. I'm not really sure. Jorts are still a no-go. Jean shorts. Man, I used to rock some jean shorts when I was a kid, man. Yeah. Buy jeans for $20 shot. Bird shot 5 times, $200. Bam. That's, G-Webs is talking about that. G-Webs is talking about that when he was in Scouts or whatever. They used to shoot their shirts and shoot their jeans and wear them. So we picked up a new patron, which is awesome. Grim90 decided to, probably against his own better judgment, support the channel, which is really super cool because Grim's kind of been poking his head in here for since the beginning. I think Grim might have been in the very first chat. Grim and Mel. In the very first chat when I opened one up, just playing with it, trying to figure out how to work the damn thing. it never. Up, Travis P11's here. Time to go. Please, Travis, don't destroy YouTube. We have nowhere else to go. I've got quite a few patrons in here right now, so I'm gonna say thanks to all of you. And I actually had to start writing them down because I got so many now. It's awesome. Like, I can't remember them off the top of my head. I don't want to miss anybody. So Smeggy42, you know, Ghost was my number one, Mr. Number One, you know. Convinced me to do it. So Smeggy, Ghost, Cycle Camp, Clover Tack, Mr. P11, the Gizzard, the Great Gizzard Gary, RL, Fine Ape, Phoenix, Jared Walsh, Phoenix Sucks, and now Grim90. That's insane. That's totally crazy. So we were talking on Clover's After Hours the other day. We were talking about percentages and what's the percentage of your subs versus patrons, and mine was like 6%. That means it's actually more than that now. It's crazy. It just, you know, it's really, really awesome to have guys that are willing to sort of help you along. And it's not even like, honestly, it's not even the couple of bucks. You know what I mean? It's awesome to get it. But it's more for me, it's not the money, and I know Ghost probably feels the same way. It's not the money, it's the fact that people will do it. It's sort of a vindication, and it lets you know that people actually do appreciate it, and they want you to continue to do it. So, I mean, you're going through some of the... I mean, I'm having a rough time at work, you know, obviously, and, you know, home's always home. There's always so much to do. It's hard to find time, so it's definitely a motivating factor to try and find that time to do more stuff, which is awesome. So I really do appreciate it. Ghost says, absolutely keeps me going to try and keep up the quality. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. I mean, your videos are great, man. I mean, yours have always been really good. I remember before, I think the first time I saw you on, I went to your channel and watched your like your about or your intro or whatever. I was like, oh shit, this guy's stuff's really cool. It made me feel bad. I was like, oh shit, this guy's really good. Because we kind of showed up about the same time. You might have been, yeah. He says, I should ask what recipes you guys want. Always. I mean, they know that, I think. I think that, you know, people are always hitting me up for ideas, or hitting me up with questions about food. But that's something that I've always tried to make very, very, you know, easy for people, is to throw suggestions out there, you know. Ghost Tactical is his hero because he ain't afraid to call BS on Yankee. Somebody needs to do it. At least Yankee knows your name. I'm not even big enough to know that yet, for him to know that yet. Whoa. Yeah, Travis says what pisses him off is YouTube demonetizes his videos for no reason, yet they are still running ads on them. I know, that is a bummer. I mean, I'm not monetized. I'm probably coming fairly close to about 4,000 views total. Maybe 3,500, something like that, which is cool. So I'll probably monetize if I get to 10,000 eventually. But I have no high hopes of making any money doing it. It's just, I don't know. Is it worth it to do it or not? I don't know. When I mean, even the little bit of gun stuff that I have now, yeah, Beef Wellington video, Edge 4006, we talked about that. I'm gonna write that down because that's a good one too. I'm gonna write that down. Chicken fried steak. Wellington. And cream dry beef. Those are three really good ones. You just saw the footsteps of a Navy SEAL one earlier. I don't remember whose channel it was on, but I haven't seen it. Yeah, I haven't seen that one in a little while either. You think the number... What number do you need to monetize? Is that where the 20th there for? No, it's 10,000 views, I think you can monetize, I believe. Sean Ponnery says he does an old Julia Child recipe for beef bourguignon. Quite possibly my favorite dish. Yeah, I'd actually do a dish sort of similar to that for parties. For at the restaurant, we do when we do buffets, do a beef burgundy. I just call it a beef burgundy. Seared fillet tips and nice big shot of burgundy wine. And roast the mushrooms real hard, and just put it all together, and kind of let it kind of melt together. It's good stuff. Edge had a good one there too. Said, feed a family of 5 for less than 20. I don't know if you caught it, but Monday's Guns and Geeks, Never Enough Ammo, this past Monday. We did, like cheap food, and there's some good ideas in there. I mean, everybody had some really good ideas. That was a fun one. Pastas and rices, and I tried to keep it homemade stuff. Mac and cheese. If you hunt, meatloaf. If you hunt meatloaf, you can not. If you hunt meatloaf, I guess you could hunt meat. I hunt meatloaf. Always on the hunt for a good meatloaf. But if you where's Mexican carry? Mexican carry is waistband, no holster. Sean Ponnery says, "Oh man, Matt's eating poor episode could have literally been called Just Ask an Enlisted Guy." Edge says he carries and he's Mexican. Mexican carry. Bam, boom, pow. Boston meat gravy would have been on mine. Sausages, ground beef, lots, etc. Lots of meats and a tomato sauce. Yeah, that's kind of what I looked like too. One of my big ones, top ones, was spaghetti and meat sauce. Clover Tack, what's happening, buddy? Good to see you. Yeah, you guys are going hard over here. Yeah, the meat sauce instead of the meatballs, because you can drag it out better. Mrs. Ghost wants a dark chocolate mousse cake recipe. I would have to do some research on that one. But I'll tell you what I do have. And the boss here, the boss lady will tell you it's pretty good. I have a really good recipe for a peanut butter pie. I'm a peanut butter junkie, so I do this recipe with a graham cracker crusts, and like a peanut butter pie and a peanut butter filling, like a peanut butter mousse almost, and then top it with warm, like a chocolate ganache, and crushed up honey roasted peanuts. That's good stuff too. Whoa. Edge says he makes a mean picadillo. I think we might have talked about this before. Is picadillo the one that has the olives in it? Is it Cuban? Because we know a guy that has a Cuban restaurant, and I think that's what it's called. And it's got just tons of like, it's basically like almost like a meat sauce. It's just, and it has a lot of like green olives in it. It's awesome. It's awesome. Travis P11's asking me if I've had a grilled PB&J yet. I eat peanut butter and jelly on toast all the time, bro. Who are you talking to? I think you and I were in the same chat when we were talking about it. No, he's talking about like a grilled cheese, like a peanut butter and jelly, but done like a grilled cheese. The one that we do is a peanut butter and jelly sandwich that's and like covered in like a donut batter, like a drop batter that we use for our donuts, and then the whole thing's thrown in there. It's the Big Buddha. I need to do a video on the Elvis deep fried peanut butter banana sandwich. I think it had bacon in it too. Didn't it have bacon in it? Yeah, grilled peanut butter is just like grilled cheese. Yeah, grilled. I like PB&Js on toast. Fluffernutters on toast is good too. Sorry, Grim, he's getting hungry. George says, now that would be awesome. What would be awesome? Fried PB&J, yeah. Yeah, PB&J like a grilled cheese. Beautiful love, I catch, you have no idea how much grief these guys give me about food chats. I don't even start it. I swear to everything holy that I probably start 20, maybe 10% and 20%, max 20% of the food chats. Half the time I show up and you guys are already talking. And then the other, 40% of the time I show up, somebody sees me and starts talking about food and they blame it on me. Edge, cumin, garlic, onion. Yeah, that really sounds like it, except it has the potatoes and the corn and not the not the olives. I'll have to text him. I bet you, I bet you he'd give me the recipe if I asked for it. It's slamming. Travis says, thanks for helping us out on Caliber Corner. Anytime, man. I love being on that show. Ghost Tactical calls bullshit on who? Not me. It's my show. You can't call bullshit on me. I'll pitch you out in your butt. Philo says, too many ingredients in food these days. I will actually agree with you. To a certain extent. I think if you're the kind of person that uses, like a chef, chefs are like this a lot. Tons and tons of ingredients. And sometimes sometimes you'll come out with something that's really complex and awesome and amazing, and then you come out with something that's confusing, and you're like, wow, this tastes like a whole bunch of stuff, but it doesn't make any sense together. The recipe for the Christmas ham, yes, they would like it, and I've mentioned it, and I've not told them what it is because I didn't want you to be mad at me. I don't want to give away your recipes, but it is slamming. We talked about it when I was doing the Thanksgiving videos. We talked about that. We were talking about what different people do for different holidays. If everybody eats turkey for this or ham, or Also, too, I think it's a Pennsylvania thing, but actually, it's probably a Pennsylvania thing. But the pork and sauerkraut on New Year's Day, that's something I always look forward to, too. Hammy, this ham is killer, too. I'm telling you, man. If she gives me the go-ahead, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do, I mean, we'll be doing one for Christmas anyway. But it's very, very simple. And honestly, what's so nice about it is you can do so much with it's so good that you don't have to buy like a crazy expensive ham. Well, there you go, you guys. We got the okay. As long as they don't go out and menu with it and publish it in a cookbook, you're okay. Yeah, it's really good. We just use I tend to buy, middle of the road ham. I don't spend a ton of money, but I'm not getting like deli ham either. Like a nice bone in is really good, and it's peach flavored. It's got peach. It's got brown sugar. It's got whole grain mustard. It's slamming. It's really good. I can't cook it right now. Do I have a beef stroganoff recipe? I don't really have a recipe for it. I tend to do that kind of stuff on the fly. But what's nice is that's the kind of thing, too, that's really awesome in the slow cooker. Edge is talking about chuck roast. That's a good one for like a cut like that. When you get some of these larger cuts that are a little bit grainy, they might have a lot of grain to them. Chunk them up and braise them and use them for something like that. That's where you can really make something for good money, which is cool. But that's an awesome slow cooker thing, man. And when I do something like that, I kind of was talking about it earlier. It's actually basically the same thing when I was talking about that beef burgundy. That's really pretty similar to what I would do. Flour it, sear it, throw it in the slow cooker with caramelized onions and roasted mushrooms, and a really nice a beef stock, and just let it simmer, man. Let it simmer for 3-4 hours. And what's kind of fun is when you see stroganoff, a lot of times people will just stir in a little bit of sour cream, right? And this is where this is where you can kind of have fun with food at home and kind of make people oh, well, that's really cool. I think things are really cool. Instead of stirring in the sour cream and just making it like a creamy beef, sauce, take some fresh herbs and fresh parsley, fresh thyme, and a little bit of sour cream, and throw it in a blender. Blend it up, and now you've got this bright green herb sour cream, and then stir that slowly into some other sour cream so it thickens up. And when you blend sour cream, it gets really, really thin. It'll basically turn into milk almost. It's really weird. I don't really know why it does it. It breaks up the fats, I guess. So if you take that blended a little bit and fold it into some more, and then kind of drizzle that over the top, it's awesome little garnish, and it's got great flavor. Is being a chef like reloading ammo? You do not save money, but eat more. Yeah, kinda. I mean, because I do it at the restaurant, I don't cook much at home, though. It's kind of a bummer. And that's where people think, like, oh, you're married to a chef. That must be awesome. My wife has to go, yeah, it sucks. But you tend to... I take care of the holiday stuff, which is nice, and I like to do it. I feel like it's almost like a gift in itself to be able to take the big holiday meals and just sort of bang them out. And it's good because it gives everybody else a chance to sort of relax, and I'm not stressed out cooking that kind of stuff, so everybody's happy. You know, I can go in, cook a little bit, come out, sit on the couch, bullshit, watch a movie or something, you know, with the family, you know, watch TV or whatever, or just talk, you know. And then, you know, I'd stand back up and run into the kitchen for a couple of minutes and do what I got to do, come back out. So, you know, it's not very stressful, which is nice. Ghost is saying a good, different ham dish for Christmas. That's what we're talking about. The wife just gave me the go-ahead to do our ham, the way that we do our ham. So I will for sure throw that video together. It's a good one too, man. Now the only tough thing about it is I don't know what I'm gonna do. Is I gotta do the recipe. I gotta figure out when to do it. We might have to, maybe we'll have to eat ham early this year or something, so I can do the video, and then we're gonna have the ham laying around. Philo says, "Don't you bring good stuff home to eat?" I do. I do bring stuff home, but a lot of times it's just sort of snacky stuff for her. And, you know, treats for the little man. But the majority of the cooking is simple stuff. Would you deck Chef Ramsay after he called you big boy? No. Not if I thought I had a chance of working in one of his restaurants, and if I didn't, maybe I might smack him in the mouth. I guess it all depends on what kind of intent he had behind it. Like, somebody says, "Hey, big boy, how you doing?" But like, "Hey, what's going on?" He's like, you know, he's talking shit to me, you know. Travis, I think I missed this one earlier too. Thank you. Sorry. Can you recommend a good breading or pan-fried chicken? I love panko breadcrumbs. Big fan of panko. There's a couple of ways to do it. Well, there's one thing that you want to do is look at the different types of panko. Different brands are going to be a little different. Sometimes you get some that are like very hard and grainy and granular. Sorry, sinuses. And then you'll find some that are really like light and fluffy and flaky. The light, fluffy, flaky ones are really nice because they give you a lighter, fluffier crust coating. So depending on, I mean, since you don't have a deep fryer at home, probably. Enrique, what's up? Good biscuits and gravy breakfast. We actually were just talking. We were talking about that earlier. What the hell, man? I mean, we're all on the same page here today. Travis, he grew up using eggs and flour, but he'd like to use something different. You're talking about actual fried chicken, bone in, like legs and thighs and stuff like that. Panko's not great for that, just because it browns too much. Flour, like when you do fried chicken, you'll do like buttermilk or something, flour, like buttermilk and eggs, flour, eggs, flour, eggs, flour. Like you'll like double crust it, or 3 times if you want, but double crust it. And it takes a long time for that to cook, so that way the inside cooks too, and it doesn't burn the outside. If you're going to use panko, I would use it on something thinner, like a chicken scallopini, something pounded out, which is still really, really good. And one of the fun dishes that I used to do at the restaurant, we had it on the menu for a little bit actually, was a panko encrusted chicken, like a thinner cut, done as like a chicken marsala. And this was like an Asian Italian dish. It's pretty cool. And we did that. We just took chicken breasts and pounded them out really thin, seasoned flour, seasoned egg wash into panko and into the deep fryer. And then we did our, what I call our Chinese brown sauce, which is basically we use for like chicken and broccoli and stuff, and lo mein and stuff like that. It's actually very utilitarian. The sauce that you would get on like a chicken and broccoli is what I call a Chinese brown sauce. So we would actually take that Chinese brown sauce and literally just hit it with a shot of marsala and roasted sliced shiitake mushrooms. And we do it over a somen, S-O-M-E-N, like a somen noodle. Ghost's wife would probably know what somen is. Soba is Japanese buckwheat noodle. Somen is a wheat noodle, very, very thin and delicate, like almost like an angel hair pasta, but even more delicate than that. So we would do the somen noodles, the panko chicken on top, and then this marsala mushroom Chinese brown sauce on top. Killer. Really, really neat. And it's this crazy fusion dish that like just worked so great. Ghost Tactical, ask my wife about steam buns. I might have a steam bun in the fridge right now. No, actually I don't think we do. Steamed, now what she's probably talking about is the ones that are totally encapsulated, like it's the steamed dough and it has a meat filling, usually pork. I think is probably the most common. Cold somen is my daughter's favorite. I love chilled soba. Chilled soba is I tried to do chilled soba and it didn't really go over. Yeah, so basically the pork belly, I'm getting sidetracked because you guys are moving so fast on me. I can't remember what those are called. The buns, the ones that are totally encapsulated. There's a term for it. There's a term for it. There's a term for it, but I can't remember what the hell it is. We get the ones that are like folded over, and you steam them and you open them up and make little sandwiches out of them. Those are slamming too. And we'll do it with basically the pork belly that we do. Nikuman? Is that what they're called? Nikuman buns? Okay. A lot of times I see them as like, I'll see them when I'm walking around in the markets and they might be brand names. So sometimes I don't know what is a brand name and what is the actual term for something. That, and the market I go to is owned by a Korean lady. So when I go in there, sometimes I'll ask for stuff and she won't know what the hell I'm talking about. Because the same thing would be 2 different things in 2 different languages. So sometimes I have a hard time with that. That and I'm a white dude from central Pennsylvania trying to cook Asian food. So that's kind of different. But the pork belly that I do, that I did in the last video, the hoisin glaze, super, super easy. I actually prefer, I make this Mongolian glaze, and I actually I actually prefer that over the hoisin, but my wife loves the hoisin. So we braise the pork belly, and we just put a nice little coat of the hoisin and throw it under the salamander or the broiler, and wait till it gets real bubbly, and it can actually turn black. Like, it can actually start to char a little bit, and we'll put that inside of the steamed buns with Asian, like a Napa cabbage slaw with a little soy vinaigrette. Whew. No, man, it's so good. Too hotty. What do you think about restaurants that serve unsanitary food? That's a thumbs down, bro hand. There was something else up here that I missed over, or I missed. Oh, Edge, porterhouse steak. Do you sear it and stick it in the oven? I do finish steaks in the oven if need be. Anything under medium usually don't have to unless it's super thick. Porterhouses tend to not be super thick because they're usually a wider, flatter steak. Sometimes you get like the old 96er that's like crazy, and you have to. But fillets, we start our fillets on the grill. We marinate our fillets. We start them on the grill, finish them in the oven, because they're thicker. You know, I always try and do like a nice center cut. So those definitely need finished. And generally I don't like a thicker steak cooked 100% on the grill, the char grill. It just gets too dark. Our char grills tend to run pretty hot, so I rather, grill it and finish it in the oven. We pretty much do that with anything thicker that needs to be finished. That way you're not destroying the outside, you know what I mean? It gets pretty that outside gets pretty bitter, you know, when you're cooking at that high temp, that direct heat. So yeah, I like to finish in the oven. And another thing, it's one of the best things about finishing in the oven is to do a little, like a flavored or a compound butter on top. That's slamming. If you do, like we used to do, Scott Pacini says his dad has a water bath machine, an immersion circulator, or an immersion circulator. Yeah. We used to do our filet with white miso butter. That was really good. We would cut the filet, season it, grill it, finish it in the oven, and the last, say, 5-6 minutes it was in the oven, we'd put this disc of butter that was like, I don't know, I used to do like, I think 2 or 3 tablespoons of white miso into the whole butter. That was really good. It gives it a really neat kind of exotic flavor. That's a good one for you to try. Your wife would like that. I don't know if she's into steak, but if she's into steak, try that in your grill sometime. You can do it on an outside grill. You don't have to finish it in the oven either. MSG butter, delicious. What's the best way to tenderize a cheap cut of meat? Other than beat the shit out of it? Physical tenderizing is not always successful. I think you need to take, you got to take it to the cooking methods more than the physical tenderization. There's some that work really good like that. Like if you have like some, like we're talking about chicken fried steak. Like generally you see that, and you see something that's pounded super thin, beat the shit out of it. Especially with the textured side, it's got the little pokey bits. And then you do your breading and you fry it. Generally though, low and moist, low heat. Either a braise or pressure cooker. Pressure cookers are pretty awesome. You can bang out something in a pressure cooker in an hour that would normally take like four hours. You heard it here. Midnight Range is recommending you all beat your meat. That's true. Edge loves Vietnamese food. Yeah, I love doing the type of food I'm doing right now. It's really fun. Slow cookers, you know, you guys are bringing up slow cookers. That's obvious, like kind of the obvious way to go. If you don't have one, you don't need one. I do recommend, if you're going to do any kind of like slow braise, that you do it in your oven. I see people try and do it on their stovetop, and it's just not, I don't know. I've just never, maybe it's because I think it's a little bit mental too. When it's on the stovetop, you're trying to rush it. You want it to be done. You're checking it. You're screwing with it. If you do it in your oven, you cover it in foil, throw it in your oven, just forget about it for 3-4 hours, you know. But that's what I would do. Short ribs are great. Short ribs are great braised. We do a braised short rib at the restaurant. I braise my ribs too. That's a lot of times because I don't have a smoker. Can I replicate Chick-fil-A? I'll tell you what, Chick-fil-A is weird because that chicken is really thick, but it's still really tender. I don't know how the hell they do that. Oh, shit, I never even thought of that, RL. Great, we're talking about guns and pressure cookers. Not only will we never be monetized, we just got added to a few more lists. Travis T8 said he cooked a whole turkey breast for Thanksgiving in the slow cooker. It was amazing. Awesome. I debone, I don't know if you saw the videos or not, I debone my turkey and do it. I debone the breast meat and brine it. And I leave the bone in the legs and thighs, but yeah, I do the same thing. Pressure fryer. Pressure fryers are awesome, Edge. I've never had the chance to use one, to physically have one in the kitchen. I've seen them used. I've seen demos and stuff like that, but, you know. Giblet gravy, yeah. There's a lot of flavor. There's a lot of flavor in the neck, the kidneys, all that kind of stuff. I always roast that with my veg and the carcass of my turkey. Gary says his daughter made mac and cheese for dinner yesterday. It wasn't your recipe, but it was amazing. That's awesome. Cook the neck. Yeah, man, cook the neck. I chop the neck up. I just chop it into like little rings and roast the shit out of it. RL says I boned my turkey. Of course I did. Got to talk nice to it. I took it out for dinner. Took it to a movie. Good stuff. Sick bastard. Dirty son of a bitch. So, Ghost, you were asking about tenderizing tough cuts. Did I get you anywhere with that, or do you have any more questions? Would I kill a mean pet turkey? Hell yeah, I would. I actually there's a picture. I have a picture of me when I was just a little dude. With a chicken. And apparently the story is that when my grandpa has his camp, he had some animals up there. He always planted fruits. He had a pear tree and apple trees, blueberries, all that kind of stuff. And apparently somewhere along the line they had a chicken. My mom had a horse, and dogs and cow, all that kind of stuff, and a chicken. And apparently there was this chicken, and it was mean as hell. And it would, if you ever tried to touch it, it would bite you, or not bite you, peck at you and chase you, and just be like an asshole to you. To everybody except for me, apparently. I don't remember it. I was little. I have a picture of it, and I was little up at camp, just a little dude, probably maybe my son's age, maybe a little bit more. I might maybe 4 or 5, and I'm holding this chicken. I don't know. I should dig that one up. I don't know if my wife's ever seen that one or not. See if I actually have it. I hate mean gooses. Philo, do I defrost your turkey before you bone it? No, but I defrost it before I debone it. Wink. I wish you could. Oh shit! I can mute. There we go. I can mute. Okay. I was gonna say I wish I could mute so you guys didn't have to hear me cough. Oh, that's how you share this too. Look at that. So I'm learning new stuff. That's how you share the. Yeah, I'm just getting over a chest cold. AC, sinuses, chest cold. No Shave November is over. Travis P11, is Travis P11 still here? I can hear, if you listen. I can actually hear his beard growing right now. Duck soup, is it anything any good? I love duck. I'm a huge fan of duck. And if anybody ever tells you they've had duck and it's been greasy and shitty, it's not the duck's fault. It's the dude that did it. We do a duck at the restaurant where we smoke it ourselves, just in a tabletop little smoker, and we smoke it with tea. We actually just make a little package in aluminum foil with the tea in it, light it on fire, and then wrap the container up and let it kind of you get that real pungent tea smoke. We do it over a home fry with a wasabi honey mustard. It's really good. Honey Dijon and wasabi. Awesome. Ghost brought some live lobsters home when his daughter was young. She got pissed because he killed them. Edge got in a fight with a Chinese guy over extra duck sauce one time. That's funny. But duck, I do like duck. I'm a big fan of duck. I like not just duck breast, but duck. One of the classic French ways to do duck is a technique called confit, CONFIT, confit. And basically, it's basically like a braise. Except you're using duck fat, its own fat. So you basically just, cover it in its own fat, marinate it, cover it in its own fat. You can flavor it, and then just really slowly roast it. So it just kind of, it's almost like cold frying it, kind of, but it's super, super tender. You take it out of that, let it drain, because it does have the oil on it, the fat on it. It's amazing. Not as bad as the fights at McDonald's over the Szechuan sauce. I've never had McDonald's Szechuan sauce, but I do make my own Szechuan sauce, and it's pretty slamming. It's pretty amazing. I actually won a competition with the Szechuan. Here's a cool dish for you guys, Ghost, that you might appreciate. Or your wife, either that or your wife's gonna think I'm totally off my goddamn monkey here. And I won a competition with this, actually, and then we put it on the menu because of that, and it's a good seller. Have I ever done tamales? No, I've never made my own tamale. Szechuan, we do a Szechuan shrimp, buffalo style. Okay, we take some tail-on shrimp and we butterfly them. We toss them in flour and cornstarch and fry them. Toss them in the Szechuan sauce I make. So now you got Szechuan shrimp, right? And then we serve it with celery and carrots and this blue cheese dressing that I make with pickled ginger chopped up in it. So it's a pickled ginger blue cheese dressing. And it's supposed to be a twist off of wings, basically. So you dip the shrimp in the blue cheese dressing and eat it like that. It's awesome. Super cool. Very like exotic and fun. Rick and Morty is the best show going. You know what? I have never watched Rick and Morty. I don't watch a whole lot of anything though. I'm always at work. If I'm at work, I'm listening to you guys. You know, put my headphones on while I'm doing prep, and I listen to the shows. Jumpy can't eat shrimp. Anything with ginger rocks, yeah. I love pickled ginger. Pickled ginger. One of my favorite sushis is that I do is salmon Philly with cucumber and pickled ginger chopped up. It's like chopped up pickled ginger, minced up in the roll. And traditionally, you don't put the ginger in it. You're supposed to eat the ginger by itself as like a palate cleanser. But it's so good in the roll. Salmon Philly with cucumber and pickled ginger. Try that sometime. You ever heard about Chinese wing sauce, DC area? No. I haven't. T8 says he likes shrimp at crab legs. I'll eat all night. Takes all night to eat it. Yeah. If I like sci-fi, I love it. Yeah, sure. Callahan, I do. I like it. We're hard target. What was the Panhandle's answer? Yeah. I actually forget. There was I hit stream, or I hit go live, and I wanted to go in and look at the answers because most people got it pretty right. And it was, I was looking to see if anybody would think more in depth into it. But I have the pans, and there was one, Smeggy was right, pretty much right off the bat, okay, for the most part. You know, so you can grab one at a time. But there was another answer about halfway down the list where, and I can't remember who it was. I'd know the name if I heard it. But it's working left to right because I saute with my left hand. Hey, the juice, what's up? So tongs are in my right hand, saute with my left. Towels in my left hand. So that way, when I grab a pan, the handle that's to the left, the most handle to the left is always the top one, and that way, when I grab a pan, I don't actually accidentally grab two. Because if you've ever, I mean, you guys don't work in a restaurant. Well, some people have. If you've ever seen anybody grab a saute pan from above the saute station or something, accidentally grab two and the top one falls, it can be super, super dangerous and super disastrous all at the same time. As if that falls and hits another saute pan with something hot in it and it splashes on you or whatever, you're talking Harvey Dent style there. You're talking two-faced, you know. So yeah, I need to go back through and decide. I don't know. It's gonna be. I have to make a decision whether, because the answer that I'm thinking of, he talked about working left to right, like you read left to right, so you're gonna work left to right. If that's a better answer than Smeggy's answer, because Smeggy's answer came in like 5 minutes. And it was funny because I posted it and I like laid down, or I forget now, I don't remember where I was. Like 6 minutes later, here comes freaking answer from Smeggy. And his first answer is because you're weird, which is, that's kind of right too. So I don't know. I have to do a little soul searching and see what happens, see who I give it to. But a lot of you guys were right. Yeah, it was so I can get one, so I can get one at a time or whatever. It's just the way that I stack them, not just straight up and down because a lot of people stack the handles straight up and down. They basically go up almost like a ladder or whatever. And I always tell my guys when I train them on the line to do that. And not a lot of places do that. They just kind of have them up there and they grab at them. But to be able to go like work your way through them and always have the one where you need it, it's really important if you're worth a shit on the line. That's the little stuff that makes you fast. The little it's just like shooting, You're not gonna, if you're gonna go to a timed shoot, you're not gonna wear a holster that's like all beat up and banged up and doesn't fit the gun right. Maybe it's too tight or whatever. You're gonna take your holster that's built for speed. Now line cooking's not easy, man. It's tough. I can't, it's not my restaurant. I obviously don't own the restaurant, but one of the things that's really cool that some places do is they'll set up a camera and do not stop motion, but shit. It looks like it's time lapse. They'll do time lapse in a restaurant. That's really cool to watch. When you're really, really busy and you're moving like crazy, you can watch that in time lapse. That's, man, it's nuts. It's a bloodbath. Futurama is pretty good. I like American Dad, to tell you the truth. Philo, chefs are crazy. No matter how bad they get hurt, they just keep working. You are 100% right, buddy. It's a crazy industry. Worst knife cut? I've had stitches twice, 3 times. Yeah, 3 times I've taken stitches. One of them was, oh, actually, no, I took 2 stitches twice. And then one time I took, this corner of my finger off. Okay, just a gnarly chunk. Just took the corner of it off. They can't do anything about it, so I kind of dealt with that one myself. Eventually got it to stop enough, and then put some new skin on it and all that shit. That was a nightmare because that thing bled for like 2 days. I was cleaning a top sirloin or a top butt one time to cut into sirloins, and I was taking the fat cap off, and I came into my knuckle. That was a bad one. Came right into the knuckle on my index finger, and it scared me. I was like, "Ooh!" And I kind of pulled my finger back, and I was like, "Ooh!" It hurt a little bit, right? So I'm thinking, maybe it's not that bad. It was like a little red, but it didn't look bad. And I bent my finger. Ugh, almost passed out. Because when I bent my finger, I realized how bad it was. It was actually, you could see my knuckle. I was actually really lucky I didn't cut a tendon or something like that, or cut into my knuckle. But you could see the white. That was pretty crazy. Yep, that's the 3rd one. She knows it. Competition. First competition I ever did. It was for a charity event for adult learning center, I think. And somebody pulled out. Somebody pulled out. I was very young. I was 25 at the time, maybe. I was the executive chef at the restaurant already. I was hired at 24, but I was 25. And another chef that I knew was helping them out coordinate the place, the competition. Somebody pulled out and he said, "Oh, call Trav. He'll do it. He's pretty cool. He's doing like neat stuff, and he's young, and whatever." So thanks. Go see you, buddy. So they gave me a call and they said, "Hey, we got your name. Would you be interested?" And I said yes. So it was a 45-minute timed competition, mystery basket, like you would see on, Chopped. Okay. And about 10 minutes into it, I went to grab something, and my knife. Okay, so my cutting board. I'll do it this way so you can see it. My cutting board is here. Okay. My knife is on the table, and the tip of my knife is up against the cutting board, right? And I go to grab something, and I basically just ran my finger up the blade of my knife. And because it was against the cutting board, it didn't move. So I just cut this gnarly flap into my finger. That one was a bad one, too. That one I think I took like 8 stitches or something to get that one closed up. But that one, so I did it 15 minutes in. 15 minutes of it was an hour competition, I think. I did it in like the first 15 minutes. And basically I just wrapped a towel around it to keep it closed. And I basically, when I pinched, I had it wrapped like this. I had it wrapped, and I basically just held it with these 2 fingers, and I cooked with my pinky and my ring finger so that I could hold my food with that, and I kept going, and I won. That was the first competition I did, and the first competition I won. So I was 1 for 1, but yeah, and basically my mother-in-law is a nurse, so they called us back to tell us who won. I won. I went up. I got my whatever. It was like a trophy, like a plate, a plaque. It was like a plaque, which is really cool. I still have it. And accepted that, did a bunch of pictures with them, shook hands, did all that stuff, walked up to my mother-in-law. I said, "Hey, look at this and tell me if I need to go to the hospital." And I opened, I took the towel off, and it was still puking blood. So I was on my way to the hospital. So yeah, it was a mess, but I did win. So I get good first aid in the kitchen. I'll tell you what, you actually do get some pretty good first aid in the kitchen, just because you're used to people cutting themselves, and it's busy, and you don't want to leave. So you do know the tricks. You sit down, relax, put your hand above your head, wrap it, keep it tight. So have I ever pulled a Ramsey and kicked a customer out? Yeah. Yeah, I had a real bad one 2 years ago. Not even 2 years ago. About a year ago with a customer. And I almost beat this guy in the face. We almost got in a fist fight. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Yeah, it was in the men's room. I was in the men's room, and he came in, and it just, long story short, he got kind of puffed up to me, and it didn't, nothing bad happened. People heard us yelling and came in, and they escorted him away. We'll say that. Nate, I'll see you, buddy. Yeah, man, always. Sunday nights, man, I'm here. Unless something crazy happens. Unless some life happens, you know. Too hottie, have you ever fired or kicked the crap out of a POS line cook? No. I'm a pretty easygoing guy. Did I wash my hands before beating his ass? No, in fact, he would have gotten his ass beat with my dirty hands, to tell you the truth. Because that's how it all played out. I didn't, yeah. So that would have even been insult to injury, right? I would have slapped the shit out of the guy and he'd have had to go disinfect his face. No, I've had some arguments with, I've had some blowouts with cooks, you know. It's never gotten physical. It's gotten close to it a couple of times, just because some people are very disrespectful, and some people are very self-centered. And when you have people that are that and arrogant, you know, or aggressive, it can get pretty bad. I have more people quit on me than get fired, for sure. The biggest thing with me is, if you can't hack it, you can't hack it. I am very, very good with training people. What? Trav, LOL, no. Why? No what? What, that I've had people walk out on me? Of course I have. They can't hang. Get guys in there that think they're the shit. Interview guys and they're like, oh yeah, I saute. I do this. I do this, I do that, I can do this. And you put them on the line on a busy night and they run around like a bunch of chickens with their heads cut off. They don't get anything done. Oh, that I'm into dudes? Oh. Not that I know. I don't think so. I don't, no. Not into dudes. No. Oh, but anyway. Yeah, I've had plenty of guys walk out. You have to steal me away, maybe. Oh, man. 128 minutes already. That's crazy. Yeah, T8 says he's glad he left the food industry, but did have some good times. It's an amazing industry. It's actually it's crazy that we do what we do in the restaurant industry. We put ourselves through what we do because it's hard work. And to somebody that works in an office or somebody, especially somebody that does, you know, jobs that are, you know, maybe, you know, the white collar jobs, or working in an office, or you're an executive or something, and you're making good money. For somebody like that to come down to what I do and get their ass beat in a restaurant, and it's hot, and like, there's nights where I come home, I take my chef jacket off, and I have a black shirt on, and it almost looks like it's camouflage, because you've got, like, you're sweating so much, and, you know, you can see the salt, you know, on your shirt after your shirt dries. It's crazy. Somebody like that will never understand why in the hell I do what I do for the money that I do. Like, why are you killing yourself, man? Why are you killing yourself, you know? That's a good... Gary has a good question there. and talking about restaurant industry. This is dead on, Gary. You're dead on here. Do you ever resent the wait staff getting all the tips while you do all the real work in the kitchen? One of my issues with servers is generally, and not that servers don't work hard. They do. They have to put up with people. They got to put up with a lot of bullshit. They've got to eat. You say eat crow. You know what I mean? When people say that, like, you just gotta just gotta let things roll off your back. That's hard. But when it comes down to it, on a busy night or on a night that you're short staffed, let's say you normally run with 5 servers and somebody calls off and you have 4. Those 4 servers can pick up the slack, bust their asses, and make an extra 20% that night, theoretically, right? Because you're losing one person. So instead of making $100, well, more than $100, say make $100, you're making 125. That's a big difference, okay, at the end of the year. Big difference. Whereas a cook, if we have 5 in the kitchen and one doesn't show up and we got to do 25% more work amongst us, we don't make any more money. You know, that's tough. So when we in the kitchen, and I say we because I feel the same way sometimes, when you hear servers bitching about being busy or having to stay late, or I don't want to close. That happens a lot too. Like, oh, it sucks. Does anybody want to close? I don't want to close. You just want to grab them by the shirt and shake them and be like, hey, we're just asking you to stay and make more money. You know, like, you have the ability to work harder, make more money, stay longer, make more money, you know, whereas sure, cooks can stay longer and make more money, but not in the percentages that a server can generally. So yeah, there's a lot of not that cooks hate servers, but there's a lot of times that cooks will look at me and shake their head and be like, you know, sure, it happens. It's a good question though, for sure. He gets way more than the tip. Take what I can get. Women get more tips than men in the industry. Yeah. I don't know the averages, really. Thanks, Grim. Thanks for coming, and thanks for being a patron, man. Most people wouldn't know how to go about tipping their chef. It is literally as simple as letting. I would talk to the manager, ask the restaurant manager to come over. You know, and have them do it rather than give it to a server, because I don't want to say servers are. I'm not trying to say that every server is shady, but there's a lot going on there. It can be accidental too. You can, you know, it says, hey, give this to the chef. The server throws it in their pocket, and next thing you know, they forget about it. You know, whatever. Yeah, wine. Somebody said send wine back to the back. Yeah, we have one guest that comes in. He does very well for himself. He's actually a purchaser for a grocery store. He's one of the guys that does the purchasing. So yeah, pitcher of beer. Yeah, those things. That's what he does. He will get a round of drinks for everybody in the kitchen. He'll say, you know, this bartender will come back and be like, hey, his name's Rob. Yeah, I'm fine saying that. Not that you guys will ever be the you don't know what Rob, but you know, say, hey, Rob wants to buy you guys a drink, and I don't drink a whole lot anymore. I will, but not very much, not very often. So I usually you know, thankfully declined, but the other guys love it. And then I have had guests come back, regulars that have maybe a party or an event, or they have a large table. There's one guest that comes in, and he does his Christmas party there for his employees, but it's a very small group. It's like 10 or 12. And he'll come back and he'll throw me like $20. And whoever's in the kitchen at the time gets it. I split it with him evenly. You know, if it's $20 and there's 4 of us, we each get a 5. So that's, and I would say too, I will say one of the best things that happens, and don't be afraid to do this. Some people might think it's weird, but if the kitchen is open or open enough, throw a compliment back to the kitchen verbally. You know, obviously if you know somebody that works there, that's one thing. If you don't, you know, say something to the expediter or somebody that's working back there and say, hey, you know, is the chef back there? And say it loud enough for the guys in the kitchen to hear too. And say, hey man, dinner was awesome. It's best steak I've ever had. And trust me, that goes a long way. It does. It's nice as an employee to work for somebody that spreads that along though too. Some, you know, some chefs aren't like that. If they, you know, somebody comes back and throws a $10 bill at, or a $20, you know, a lot of guys would pocket that for themselves. You know, there's no way to control that, but I would not let it stop you from doing it. If you have a really good, especially if it's a group, like if you get a group of people coming in, like say 10 or 15 people, you know, an extra $1 a person to be able to throw that to the kitchen, it's pretty awesome. I'll split it with my dishwasher too. If it's $20 and it's 3 of us in the dishwasher gets a $5 bill too. That's just how I work. George is saying compliments to the chef for sure. Ah, Sean, you gotta see Primus. That was one of my favorite concerts ever, was Primus. Incubus, Buckethead, and Primus. It was way back, 98, 99, at the Electric Factory in Philly. Awesome. Best affordable kitchen knives, and I think you're saying are the best. Wait, best affordable kitchen knives and the best of the best. Generally, I use our house knives, which are pretty crappy. They're thin, stamp blade, hard plastic, so they can be sanitized easily. And we have a knife company that sharpens them. Once a week, they don't sharpen. They do sharpen them. They drop off new ones and take the old ones. So, I generally use those. One of my favorite knives on the market is Shun. Edo, E-D-O, Shun Edo. I had heard that they're probably going to be discontinuing the line. Beautiful Love is lying. We did not see Alice in Chains. You want to try again? Who did we see? Shun Edo is a really nicely balanced knife. I like it in the... what makes them better? They're really nicely balanced. I like the handle. And I like the Santoku style blade that they have. And it has the Granton edge, or the scalloped edge. The Shun Edo is my number one knife that I've ever used that I liked. I don't own one because I'm broke, and you know, they do run in the high hundreds. But I did have an employee that I've had 2 employees that have had them. Yeah, wow, 12 grand for a set, or $1,200 for a set. Yeah. But it's the most comfortable knife I've ever had. Money no object. What would you buy? That. I would buy a Sean Ito set. I'd buy the whole goddamn set. Just like Gary said. Just buy them all. But the Sean Ito with the scalloped edge or the Granton edge or the hollow cut edge, you know what I mean? Like it has the hollows cut in it. Alright, AC. Thanks, buddy. That's what I would get if it was me. For sure. Yeah, they're fantastic knives. Oh, Alice. Yeah, we did not see Alice in Chains. We saw Alice Cooper. We saw Motley Crue on their final. Yeah, you son of a bitch. I was going to say, you son of a bitch. Did you just order one? Clover's got it right. There he is. Money no object. Just hire me. Never have to worry about picking up a knife again. George, The Walking Dead was okay. It's okay this week, I think. I can't say they redeemed themselves yet from the last couple of weeks, but what did you what? What the hell is Jumpy doing? Is Jumpy throwing weird links into the chat again? Buck 110. I own a Buck 110. That's what when we did Travis P11 did a hunting episode. What do you need to get into hunting? You know, that's the knife I brought up was a Buck 110 Buck folding knife, lockback. Yep, I have one in my truck right now. I actually took it out the other week. It needs to be polished up, man. The brass is looking pretty ratty. Just sitting out there in the truck all the time. But they're fantastic. Just can't beat it, man. It's a good size. If you're gonna, that's what I use to skin my deer. You know, when I hunted the kid, when I was young and I hunted, that's what I used. I actually got mine for free. I actually had a guy. We were on vacation with a family. We were staying at a friend of my grandmother's that had a beach house, and he took us out. Yeah, they are sharp. Yeah, they're nice. That's a good steel. Yep. And he actually took us out on the bay on his boat to fish, and I had forgotten my pocket knife, and he threw me this buck knife. He said, "Oh, here, use this," and it was a Buck 110, and the tip was broken off, and somebody had taken it and just kind of ground it, you know what I mean, ground it over so it was usable. So instead of having like the pointy tip, it was like a rounded off tip. I forget what they call those when knives are like that. There's a certain term for that. So I took it and used it, and he's like, "Oh, you can have it. I don't want it. Somebody left it. I found it, whatever." So I called Buck Knives. I called the company. I said, "Hey, I've got this knife and the tip's broken. You know, can I?" Because they have a lifetime warranty. I was like, "Can I send it back and you fix it?" I sent it back, and they sent me a brand new one. So that was pretty awesome. So I got a brand new knife out of it. And at that time, they were pretty pricey. Many tender fingers due to Buck 110. Yeah, I'm sure there was a lot of people with some slices on them. They've been around for I don't know how many years. That'd be a good one to look up. See when the Buck 110 first came out. That was a good Caliber Corner, though. Man, I'll tell you what, Caliber Corner, if you guys don't watch it, I know a lot of you guys probably do, Saturday mornings. It's early. My time, it's 9. So that would be like 8 o'clock Central. 41 years old. That's awesome. I would have actually thought it was older than that. Very cool. if you don't watch Caliber Corner on a regular basis, watch. It's a very good show. Travis puts a lot of effort into it. He does a lot of. He really thinks about his topics a lot. Does some research. He'll have like program notes. Where he so he can follow. The along and not get lost during the show. He's a teacher, so he's really good at that shit. So that's really cool. George says Caliber Corner is a great show. I like Travis P11's Man Cave. Yeah, he's got a nice setup there now. He's got a room. He's got his own little room there with his computer, and he's got his rifles back there. It's nice. It's cool. It's cool to look, to see, all his stuff in the background. Older the bull, stiffer the horn. I don't know about that. Oh. Yeah, Travis T8 says he thinks that's backwards. Stiffer the bull, the older the horn. It's not backwards. Still got 10 people, huh? That's cool. This was probably the best chat I've had. The soup chat a couple weeks ago was a good one too. We went like an hour and a half just talking about soup, but would I ever try drag? Psh, nobody wants to see that shit. That's for damn sure. Although maybe it might be comfortable. I don't know. In the summertime, nice soft, nice light dress. Yeah. George says he likes the AR Travis picked up for his dad for Christmas. I didn't even know he did that. I didn't know he did that. That's cool. Did he build one, or did he just pick one up? Oh, I don't. No, I'm good. I'm actually I just keep trying to scroll through because too hotty because you guys have been chatting hard tonight, man. See you, Philo. Thanks for coming, buddy. Trying to keep up. I was missing some stuff. Been scrolling up and down trying to see if I can get everything. See everything. The high heels are murder. Fishnet stockings and a sundress. All right, deal. We'll see that on Edge of the Week next week. Edge will be in. You heard it here first. This just in. Late breaking news. Edge will be wearing fishnets and a sundress on Edge of the Week next week. Oh, you got one from PSA? You damn skippy. There you go. You have to sub to Edge. Beautiful sub to Edge, and that's fitting. Form fitting. Look at that. And it's when is Edge of the Week? Friday night? Yeah, Friday night, right? Edge of the Week. RL says, "Damn, I keep having to clean flash holes out on these cases." Oh yeah, he switched his media and his that shit sticks everything. What are you using, RL? What kind of media are you using? I think I use corn cob. I think it's corn cob. It's from Lyman. All right, see you, babe. See you, beautiful. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, I mean, I use the Lyman Media. I think it's a greenish colored one. CloverTech has a homemade stainless tumbler. It's at the back of your truck. Clover just puts a whole bunch of media in the back of it, in the bed of his truck, throws his stuff, and drives around on rocky dirt road, bumpy roads. He's got a rolling tumbler. This stainless steel is supposed to be pretty awesome. I ain't got the money myself. I have just one of the small Frankfurt Arsenal tumblers, little vibrating tumblers, little guys. They paid like $30 for it or something. And then I use the Lyman Media. I think it's the green corn cob. I think that's what it is. Does a good job. And then I put a trick that I heard about on the internet, which actually works really, really good. Here's a good trick for you if you haven't never done this, is to put dryer sheets in your tumbler or your vibrator, whatever. I think I hear the little guy. The dryer sheets, as everything tumbles together, the dryer sheets just collect the dirt. It really lengthens the life of your media. It does a good job. If you tumble, and they come out looking like dark gray, like pencil lead gray almost. It's actually really cool. I don't know if because they have obviously they have like scent to them and stuff. I think the ones I have dryer sheets have scent to them too. And when you feel them, they kind of feel like oil, not oily, but like, I don't know, kind of oily, I guess. I don't know if that helps polish or not. I could see it kind of coming out into the media a little bit, but that actually works really good. I'll buy like the generic store brand ones and just cut them into like little strips and throw like 2 of them in there while it's tumbling. And then when I strain the media out, I just throw them away. It's really cool. Start talking about vibrators as soon as your wife is going to bed. Yeah. Yeah, I do hear the little guy. I think she's going in to check on him. He took a nap. He normally doesn't take naps, so he took a nap. And woke up, and we brought him upstairs, so he's a little out of sync. You didn't think we were going to just leave without playing Who is We Sucka? Me and Smith and Wesson. Oh man. Yeah, jumpy. Yeah, that will be. Yeah. Oh shit, you're gonna be up all night. Yeah, it was late. Like he got out of his. We gave him a bath and he went downstairs and just kind of crashed. Earl, like he didn't even realize it. Just looked over and the little man was crashed out on the couch. So I let him sleep for a couple of minutes while we got some stuff together, and then I was gonna do the show. And when I picked him up and brought him upstairs, he woke up. So he didn't want to go back to sleep because he just had this like little power nap. So it could be kind of could be a rough night. So it sounded like he woke up once there. As you know, man, he's 3, he just turned 3. When they're 3, man, that whatever it was, 15-20 minute nap, supercharge you, man. That's like a little turbocharge nap. He could be up. He might try and wake up now. I might be downstairs making pancakes here in an hour. I gotta kick this cold, man. So, I think we're gonna call it here, guys. Yeah, chocolate chip, nothing wrong with that. Actually, I have these pumpkin chips, the ones that I used in the cheesecake video. I got those and did those with pancakes. They were awesome. So you get like a nice fluffy pancake, and these pumpkin spiced white chocolate chip kind of things. Chat Cat just showed up a little late. What does Chat Cat mean? What's that? I know who Ammo Cat is. That's Travis P11's cat. I think we'll call it here. People are dropping out. I think the time is nigh. Somehow the ginger snaps got all in. Yeah, that happens. The ginger snap crust is pretty great, man. Compared to like a graham cracker, the ginger snaps have that like bite to them. George Grayson Cat. Who the hell are you? Are you somebody that just changed your name to that we already know, or are you new? Yeah, ginger snaps. Edge says, should I get some heavy-duty kitchen-grade cookware to cook at home? George is your cat. Electric stove. It's hard because there's some really, really nice stuff out there, and I honestly, it's funny because, you know, the restaurant industry is such a profit margin so tight. I don't use really expensive pans. We use, a nicer, thicker, like aluminum saute pan. Something inexpensive with a metal handle. I mean, just restaurant grade stuff. And I use that every day, so I'm so used to that honestly, like some of the not like stainless steel cookware and stuff that's really nice, really expensive, it's weird for me. It's a little awkward. I'm used to the inexpensive aluminum cookware. So it's hard for me to say, like, I'd say the best thing to do is, if you have anybody that's into that kind of thing, to kind of, let maybe borrow, like you can borrow people's guns to shoot and see if you like them. Try and do that with cookware too. You got somebody that's got some nice, does it improve the food quality? No. Different things are going to cook differently. Pans are going to heat up. Aluminum will heat up really fast. Aluminum heats up really fast, which is nice. So that's kind of cool. Steel doesn't heat up quite as fast, but it'll hold the heat longer, which is nice. When I'm cooking in pans, I generally think that the aluminum pans that I use at the restaurant, personally, I think are more non-stick than the stainless steel pans that I've used in the past. I have trouble with stainless steel pans sticking. I don't know. No. But that's just how I am. I mean, that's how I am. That's what I use, so that's what I like. That's what I'm used to. Yeah. And this stainless steel stuff's pretty pricey. I think it just depends on what you're looking to do. If you're really looking to, like, you know what, I was just gonna say, like, I think you'd be better off buying, like, instead of buying whole sets of stuff, I think the average person would be better off buying one pan specifically for this or one pan for that. Like an iron skillet, a cast iron, if you want to do hard seared stuff, if you like Pittsburgh style steaks or blackened fish or things like that, cast iron holds the heat really, really well. And that's really important when you're doing like a blackening or something, or, you know, or Pittsburgh, where you're really trying to char the outside. So that would do that. I would, if you like to cook lots of different stuff, I would have a couple of different pans in your arsenal. I would do a cast iron. It is nice to have a stainless steel pan or sauce pot because they're very neutral in flavor and color. The problem with aluminum pots is if you make something in them that's very light in color, like let's say you're making a white sauce, some kind of white sauce, and you are stirring it with like a metal whisk or something, you can actually get some of that aluminum sort of color and flavor into the food. Yeah, blackened catfish. Too hotty. It takes effort to keep cast iron good there. No, not at all. Cast iron's pretty indestructible. The biggest thing is season it when you first get it. A lot of stuff comes pre-seasoned, you know, which is fine too. But I still like to, you know, rub it and heat it. Like, what's up, Smeggy? How you doing, buddy? I still like to oil it and maybe put it in the oven for, you know, an hour or two and let it kind of soak in. Smeggy cooks them. Well, that's snowmen cook at very, very low temperatures. So yes, you could probably cook a snowman in plastic. Oh, but the cast iron. I mean, when you use it, generally just wipe it out, wash it out with, you know, if you don't have to wash it, this is going to sound weird, but if you don't have to wash it, don't. And just wipe it out. You don't want to put them in you definitely don't want to put them in like a dishwasher or something. The chemicals are too harsh and it'll rust on you. But cast iron's been used for fucking years and years, you know. There's people that, if you ever go to yard sales of, you know, or estate sales, there's always cast iron there from older people. They love it. And it's pretty non-stick when they get seasoned pretty well after you have them for a while. They're pretty non-stick too. So that's the kind of thing, like, just rinse it out with water, wipe it out, or a little bit of like little delicate dish soap, and rinse it and dry it. That's it. Also, too, if you get cast iron, there's some really cool cast iron like grill pans and stuff that are really nice. And you can use those outside, which is really cool. I have one that I used to use for camping. Just to, you know, just throw it right on the fire. Yeah, they will rust. They'll rust quick as shit. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. T8, yep. He uses it for fish. It's very non-stick. Adds flavor. Smeggerton. Yeah, it's very cool. Yeah, the cast iron's nice. Honestly, Edge says he's always looking for cast irons on eBay. Look on Craigslist. Yard sales. If you go and there's one there and it's not like rusty, and even if it is, you can clean them up, you know. It's just like a gun. You know, it gets a little rust on it, you can still clean it up. Yeah. There's one company that's called Lodge. Lodge is the brand. There's not many companies making them anymore. There's Yeah, steel wool or copper wool and steel wool. There's not a whole lot of companies making them anymore. Lodge is one of them, and they do a pretty good job. Yeah. If it's nasty, throw it in a bonfire one night. Yeah. Yeah, you could. You could. And that's the whole idea with seasoning it. So Maggie, we were talking guns earlier. Today was a good. Today was a lot of food. Usually it goes back and forth. Today was just a lot of food. When you season, yeah, I mean, I've seasoned pans in deep fryers before, where you just take it and throw it right in the damn deep fryer and let it sit in there for an hour, and let the oil kind of soak in. That's actually the easiest way to do it. That's the way I like doing it. Take it out, wipe it off, done. Done. Yeah, Dutch oven's great too, Edge. You know, and especially this time of year, and with hunting season in, Dutch oven's a good way to go if you want to do braises or stews. Snow cone recipes all evening. I bought my son a snow cone machine at the end of the summer here, and we never even used the damn thing. I gotta bust that out one of these days. Anybody else have a Snoopy snow cone machine when they were a kid? I did. That thing was awesome. Little Snoopy. I think he was on his house, his little dog house, I think. Why is the iron skillet black? Is it a coating? No, that's just the color of it. It's cast iron. Cast iron's that color. Panda is delicious. Pandas are mean, I've heard. Uh-oh. Our little tiny water is empty. I think that means the show's over. Any closing arguments from you guys? If not, we're gonna shut it down. I don't even know what time it is. Good God, what time is it? It's got to be late, right? 1:30. Ooh. That means this is a 3-hour chat. You argue that I'm leaving. It's because it's not that late there. You guys are in another time zone. Tiny water product of the day. It's funny. I usually grab one of those, and last week I didn't have. I had the big one, and like 3 people asked about it. They're like, "Hey, where's your little tiny water?" Although I had the turtle water the one time. I had an instructor in school that culinary instructor, really good chef, pretty awesome dude, super smart, kind of an asshole, but whatever. Whenever he would do a lecture or teach whatever, at the end of it, instead of just saying, "Does anybody have any questions?" And this will tell you the kind of guy he is, because he's a little arrogant, I guess. You'd always say, "Questions, comments, or challenges?" And be like, "Nah, we're good." I'm the skipper. It's a 3-hour tour. The weather started getting rough. My tripod was tossed. We still got 9 guys in there. That's super good, though. That's super good. That's such white trash talk. Super good. It's pretty cool that we still have 9 guys in here. I think there's been a couple of, last week I think we got up to 23 or 20. I keep singing. Not gonna. Smeggy would be Gilligan, right? Smeggy would be an awesome Gilligan. And Edge can be Ginger, because he's going to wear a dress on Edge of the Week. I'm not doing the truffle shuffle. Nope. No, 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 no. No way. No fucking way. There is no way in hell that I'm going to do the truffle shuffle, because there's too many of you guys out there that are good with computers. That shit would blow up. It would go everywhere. It would go fucking viral, and I would look like a goddamn idiot all over the internet. No way. Night Strike would rip that goddamn thing off of here so quick. You're lucky my wife's not still in the chat. She'd be screaming right now. You better not. Don't you do it. Yeah, then I would be rich, right? I'd turn myself into a 1%er. Look at you guys. You guys are enabling son of a bitches. Yeah. Someday. Man, maybe that will be my desk pop. Someday. One of these days, what you gotta do is you gotta convince the wife to pump me full of bourbon and Coke one of these nights, and truffle shuffle pop. That actually has a really nice ring to it, doesn't it? Truffle shuffle pop. Peanut butter brickle bar. Peanut butter brickle bar. Truffle shuffle pop. This is a money thing. Yeah. Oh man, I'd blow him out of the water. Comes the Jelly Belly. No brown chicken, brown cow. That's right. Oh man. I don't need that to be my claim to fame. No thanks. See what's going on here. Clover, your music is the best. Your brown chicken, brown cow music is the best, man. Your after hours music is the shit. RL's gonna blow his gun up, guys. Be careful, Jesus. We look like a Looney Tunes cartoon when he pulls the trigger and it goes. RL's putting whiskey in his cases and doing shots of gunpowder. It's all bass backwards. Do it for a baby Ruth. Ruth, baby? Baby Ruth? Amy's, oh my God, yeah, Amy's Bakery. That chick is nuts, man. Holy Moses, what a show that was. Freaking, if you guys have never watched, oh my God. Edge, what's the name of the show? Not Restaurant Impossible. I'm blanking out. Too Hottie says you've run 3 hours, get your little one to sleep, make sure your wife doesn't need that vibrator. You thank me later. Kitchen Nightmares. There you go. Kitchen Nightmares. If you go watch Kitchen Nightmares, Amy's Baking Company. Amy's Baking Company, I think it is. They're closed now, but that shit was crazy. That almost unbelievable. Like it's to the point where it makes you wonder if it's real, because would there be people out there that would be this nuts? Plus P44 mag? Yeah, he was a total douche, man. He was taking like the server's tips. Like he was holding the server's tips because he finished the table, or he busted a table, or I forget why. Or he didn't, basically all his servers did were like food runners, I think, man. He like was like hounding the tables and bothering them all night. And she's just an unattractive person all around, inside and out, man. Watch it. It's almost unbelievable. It's hard to believe that it's true. It's on YouTube for sure. I've had it pop up on my feed. Yeah. Nuts. And he was a super asshole too, man. He's like arrogant, getting fights with people. Crazy. 21 grains of unique. What are you loading? Oh, are you loading 44 mag? I am a gangster. Yeah. Yeah, she just argued about everything. She argued about everything on that show. It was awesome. Yeah. She argued about everything. Pizza was, everything was like, everything she did was perfect. And then when somebody didn't like it, it was like, they would tell them to go fuck themselves, basically. Yes. 44 mag. Alrighty. Oh yeah, I'm scrolling back. You got $250 44. What is your 44 that you got it for $250? And 245 grain. That's a chunk of lead, man. I don't have a 44. I'm gonna say it again, but I'd like one. Once again, I don't have one, but I'd like one. All right, I say we call it. Luger 30 from 1920. That's awesome. Made the late 70s. All right, we're gonna call it. Let's shut this some bitch down. You some bitch. When we get home, the first thing I'm gonna do is punch your mama in the mouth. There is no way you could come from my loins. Daddy, my hat flew off. I wish your goddamn head was in it. All right. I will see you guys when I see you guys. Thanks for coming. Thanks for doing another marathon here. Just a long one, man. But this is a good show. Really, really good show. All right. Damn it, Enos. Damn it. I am an officer of the law. So let's call it. I will see you guys when I see you. Punch your mama in the mouth. See you guys. Have a great night.